welcome back to my channel. This video is a video that I've been wanting to do for so long just because I needed the motivation to do it. It is a declutter and organise my kitchen cupboards. However, in America these are more like my pantry cupboard. These are cupboards that have all of our condiments, my bread. At the moment it actually has anything that we can put into it. So we have these two really large cupboards at the end of our kitchen. They just seem to have been really taken for granted and we have been piling anything and everything into them. I'm going to show you how I turned this into a more Pinterest worthy kitchen pantry or just kitchen cupboards. The first thing that you must do is empty everything out of the cupboards, and I mean everything. Don't leave anything in there. The whole point is to start afresh and start with a clean slate. I then like to give each cupboard a hoover out and then wipe them down with Dettol wipes so that they're nice and clean for when you're putting things back in. Before starting out, I picked out what I wanted to put in storage wise. So I knew how many jars I wanted, how many cereal containers, and I also kind of knew what storage I wanted at the bottom of the shelves. I worked out where these were going to go and then arranged the shelves accordingly so there was enough room and I didn't want to have any space going to waste. I started adding in my storage containers, so my baskets and trays and my jars, so that I knew that there would be enough height between each shelf. I added an undershelf basket from Lakeland to help with making use out of space in these cupboards. This bread bag is also from Lakeland and I thought it was a great idea to store fresh bread. It's also plastic lined so it keeps it really fresh. I also got this bag for my potatoes. This was also from Lakeland. It has a button closure, but it just means that I can put the potatoes into here and it has a little opening at the front so that I can get the potatoes out easily. It's just a nice, pretty feature, I guess. I'd normally put potatoes in another drawer, but I'm also organising those drawers. It just fits in perfectly here. At this point, I am undecided on where things are going to go exactly, but I just start putting the big things back into the cupboard and finding a place for them. I then start condensing down all the cereals and things that can go into the cereal jars. These were from Wilkinson's and they've just fitted in perfectly. I actually had to pick up a few more of these than I expected. I'm able to fit 4 at the front and then another 4 at the back. Personally, the condiments are the worst part of the cupboard for me. They always look the messiest and they always get put back in the wrong place. I got this 3-tier extendable shelf from Lakeland and it just again allows me to use more space in the cupboard than what we was using before. It also allows us to see things clearly without having to rummage through the cupboards. I used these in 2 parts of the cupboards next to each other and I gave everything a wipe down before putting it back into the cupboard as well. I then started to try and condense down what was left on the worktops that I had taken out. So for me it was a lot of raisins and a lot of packet fruit. So I tried to put all of these into smaller jars. What took up the most room in our cupboards were the pastas. So the pasta I put into the larger jars. These glass jars are all from Wilkinson's, the larger ones and the medium ones, and they have a sealed tight container so it keeps everything fresh. I personally find that pasta in jars looks so aesthetically pleasing when you're opening a cupboard. I just really prefer it this way. Once I know where all the jars and the cereal containers are going, I start condensing down everything that I took out of the cupboard in the first place. So I start filling all the cereal boxes and all of the jars with as much as I can. We also keep our eggs in the cupboard, so I picked up one of these egg storage holders from Wilkinson's. Just a side note to bear in mind that if you're filling your sugar and flour into jars, you will need the taller ones because they won't fit into the medium ones. Once everything's into jars, it's time to start putting it back into the cupboards and finding a home for them. On the top shelves, I've got some big bulky things that I kind of don't want on shows. To hide these, I got these woven baskets from Matalan. I've put lots of packet things into them and lots of baking things into them as well. I really liked how the woven baskets added a more natural look to the cupboards. So I wanted to add another one of these next to my mixer. So I put in lots of baking stuff and lots of fiddly bits that would normally just be lingering around these cupboards. The bottom two shelves were always our worst. We would just throw anything in there and it would stay there forever. Things that had to maybe go into the shed would just stay there for such a long time. This time I wanted to make good use of them by putting things there that we actually use on a daily basis. These wire baskets I got from Poundland. I think they were £2 each, however, but I'm using these for veg and for fruit. And then I've got the potato bag next to them, and then a box at the bottom which was from Lakeland, and that is for all the dog bits. We did have 2 of these chalkboard boxes, but somehow one has gone missing, so I've only ended up with 1. So I'm going to try and do something else to the other side. I did want them exactly matching. So I've got some more baskets for more baking stuff that couldn't fit into the jars just at the back, and then I've used some more of the Matalan baskets just to put little things into, like tea bags or other little fiddly things, so they're not just lying loosely around in the cupboards. And there you have it, 2 fresh looking cupboards. I can't believe the difference a few jars and containers have made. It looks so much better and so much more organised than what it did before. I have picked up 4 more of the glass jars from Wilkinson's, so that there are 3 rows of 4 jars, and so far the whole system seems to have stayed the same and it hasn't got too messy.